I gave my soul to this ring and these people a long time ago. Hey, Rock, go fuck yourself.
Oh my God. Well, on that note, welcome back to the Malapert Smark Podcast. This is the milestone 150th episode. For that, I got Vlad, the wrestling expert. He's been here for every single one of those 150 episodes. Can you believe that? Vlad is here. Thank you for being here, Vlad.
It's actually, usually I don't know what we're going to talk about or how we're going to make some of these subjects exciting. This time we have a real juicy topic to open the show with, so it's going to be interesting.
Yes, we're just gonna start off the show talking about The Rock, man. I don't even need to really introduce the angle or what happened or summarize it. I think everybody knows by now. So we can just jump into it. I will mention that Robert's not here, unfortunately. Our third member of our crew is sick today, so he couldn't make the show. He called off. But he did send a review, and we'll talk about it in a little bit when we pull up our Malapert Smark review. But let's get into it. Let's just go ahead and talk about The Rock real quick. Episode number 150. This is our blog post. I'm going to put it in the description also if anyone wants to follow along. But Vlad, the heel turn happened. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of everything that happened and the play-by-play, because I'll show that coming up too, let's just talk about the heel turn. John Cena turned heel finally. You got any initial comments you want to make?
About his heel turn? Oh, well, I mean, it's historic. It was a historic moment. It was a viral moment. It has everybody in the wrestling community talking about it. It's huge. It's one of the greatest heel turns of all time. I mean, let's put it out there. There's only been a couple that have, are really memorable on a national level. I know I'm not talking about the territory days because that was just the territory days, but Hogan's heel turn, 96 when he joined the NWO, Austin's failed heel turn, but whatever. It was pretty memorable. Heel turn when he sided with Vince, right? That was big. And this one, I think, is right up there with those because of who's involved, and what's at stake, and the fact that it's John Cena, who has been the babyface of all babyfaces. We've wanted him to turn heel during most of the prime of his wrestling career, right? When he was going good and he was the main guy by far. I thought it'd be so cool to turn him heel. It would just be a great thing to flip it around. Never happened. But here it is, the last year of his career. And they decided to turn him heel. And I guess it was one of those things like, hey, if it's not now, it's never. But man, they really did a great job because I don't think a lot of people really saw it coming. I mean, now people are like, oh, there were some hints. Look what he said at the Royal Rumble press conference. It's best for business that I'm in the Elimination Chamber. Okay, that's true. But nobody really thought he was going to turn heel. Nobody really did. I mean, it's John Cena, So it was a great moment. And plus, we had to side with The Rock. Like, that's also a thing that didn't really click, right? Because, they've never really been friends. So they feuded. They had a nasty feud for 2 years. So that's the one. Yeah, that's the one hole in the argument to me of why he's teaming with The Rock. But I guess they're both Hollywood now, so I guess you could say that makes sense. That was a long time ago. Yeah. Their feud was a long time ago, and I think the way they're going to explain it is kind of similar to the way Austin explained his heel turn. He needed that title. He wanted that title. It was the last chance for him to get. Well, it really was kind of Austin's last chance at that time to get a title. But this is definitely Cena's last chance for a title. That much we do know, and he really wants it to happen. And I guess the only way that he could get it is with The Rock. That's the way they'll try to explain why this amazing thing happened. But it was great theater. The audience was shocked. Everybody was shocked. I mean, there's been so many reaction videos of it that I've seen. It's just one of the great wrestling moments. I really do feel that way. That's why we rated it so highly in our ranking system, right? I mean, that's why all of us did, because we thought this is what wrestling's all about. This is why we cover wrestling, right? It's for moments like this. I feel for situations that unfolded like this. So This was, I'll wrap it up. I don't want to keep going too much longer, but this was a sensational wrestling moment. Again, one of the great heel turns of all time. They did it really well because a lot of people didn't see it coming. And sometimes, we doubt Triple H or we doubt the booking. We had a lot of questions about like, hey, what the heck was The Rock talking about last SmackDown? Like, what the hell was up with that promo? But man, it ended up being this. Like it ended up at this heel turn, which again is pretty genius, I would say, because I think most people thought Cody was going to turn heel because why else is Cena in the ring there with him? He's going to attack Cena. They're both going, and then The Rock and Cody are going to beat up Cena. It ended up being the complete opposite, which again they fooled us pretty good there. At least they fooled me. But anyways, great job all the way across the board by the WWE writers. But anyways, great heel turn. And that's it. I'll leave it at that.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about that more. I really just wanted to get more just your thoughts on generally John Cena turning heel finally, because that's the big takeaway from it. But we're going to get into the details. I'll show some clips and some images and stuff. But do you think this happened at the right time? Because I'm kind of thinking like they should have still done it back in the days.
Of course.
2013, it was already there for the doing. I don't know where exactly I would have done it. Maybe like the CM Punk thing, that could have been like an easy double turn.
Sure.
They could have made Punk face and Cena a heel, just because of the merciless amount of boos he's been getting. Like,
yeah, it was probably at the time where he was getting booed completely as a face because people were just sick of him. I mean, that's the time to do it. That's the time to do it, man. But they just didn't want to mess with the golden goose. They didn't want to mess with their merch. It was kind of the same stuff that Hogan was worried about when he was turned heel. Like, he didn't want to mess with his merch, and he didn't want the kids not to like buy his stuff anymore and think that he's an asshole and things like that. But yes, it should have happened then. And we were around and saw a lot of those shows, which were not great, but could have been a lot better if Cena was a heel, because he would have pulled it off and done quite well with the role.
Yeah, we had to sit through so much garbage wrestling, where if John Cena turned face or turned heel, it would have saved us a lot of boredom. A lot of boredom.
Yeah, I agree because he's, as much as I like Cena I like him more than I think you do, but as much as I like him as a performer and a guy, like personally, like, he could have turned heel and he would have saved those shows from being very predictable and a lot more exciting, especially during that time where wrestling really wasn't that great. It was not really a great time for wrestling. It's not as hot as it is now, I feel. So yes, he should have turned around that time, but I still feel if they're ever going to do it, you might as well do it now. If this really is the end of his career, you might as well do it, man. Then you could say he did it all. He did do the heel thing, but yeah, of course, it was better when he was in his prime. No, of course.
All right, so the Cena heel turn with Cody and everything, I listed that as a separate storyline on our Elimination Chamber review, which is the link is in the description below if you guys want to see our whole thumbs up, thumbs down for every storyline and every angle. But for this one, I did it separate. The Elimination Chamber match we'll talk about also. But for this one, it garnered the highest ratings from the three of us that there could possibly be. Let's go through our ratings before we go through the play-by-play real quick. But here is Vlad, 10 points. Finally, a mind blown. He had never given one. Never given one since we started doing this back in I think sometime in July last year. We started doing these ratings.
I think I've only given like This Was Fire to maybe like the WrestleMania last year and maybe the Hell in a Cell match between McIntyre and Punk, but I think that's like the highest I've ever given. So this is the highest I've actually ever given to any wrestling segment or match.
Yeah, you got 10 points on your review. Mine completely blown. Robert also gave it a mind blown to 10 points.
And he's a harsher critic, so he usually doesn't give those as well. So that means all of our minds were really blown with the segment.
I know, and I gave it 14 points.
Wow, yeah.
So
you said you were gonna, yeah.
I gave it a heart and a thumbs up too. So we can combine ratings on our thing, and so mine is at plus 14. I took off 1 point. I said on my comments for Travis Scott being involved.
I don't like that
Other
either.
than that, yeah. So did you see my my thumbnail that I'm gonna make on this? So I edited this out. This is the part where Cena was stepping on Cody's neck with Rock next to him, but Travis Scott was right here.
Good job. I like that. Get rid of him. He shouldn't have even been there.
Yeah, we should do an AI version of this where they just have the regular scene without Travis Scott there for no goddamn fucking reason. But okay, whatever. I guess they say this helps WWE get like casual viewers. There's going to be people who are on Travis Scott's Instagram or something.
Oh, like only social media wise, right? So
Yeah.
it would be more social media views because of Travis Scott. Oh, maybe I could see that. I guess.
I guess. Okay. Well, let's cover our topic for today then. The topic I'm putting it is the Men's Elimination Chamber and the aftermath. So let's start at the Men's Elimination Chamber then, huh? Let's watch some pictures and some highlights, and we'll give our ratings for that, and then we'll go through the whole heel turn and give a play-by-play of how it happened. So Cena wins Elimination Chamber. All right, let me pull up our television. And I'm going to storyline number 6 on our Elimination Chamber review, which is the Men's Elimination Chamber. All right. So the first elimination was Drew McIntyre because he got distracted with the entrance of John Cena, and he got pulled into a roll-up from behind by Damian Priest. So I still think Damian versus Drew McIntyre for some reason is going to be a WrestleMania match.
Yeah, it looks like they're setting up some stuff now, yeah.
It looks so. What the hell are they going to do with Roman Reigns then? But maybe he's not even going to wrestle on this year's WrestleMania. I don't know because I'm not seeing anything. But we'll talk about that later.
Sure.
So Drew was out. He was all distraught and really sad looking at that WrestleMania sign, knowing he's not going to be there.
Yeah.
So he was pissed off, and he claymored Damian, which that went straight into Damian's elimination. Right? So he got pinned by Logan Paul, who did a nice frog splash off that top of one of the pods. I'll give him credit for that, yes. Yeah. So let's see. So then that led to CM Punk coming into the match. So he got in late. He got a late start. That was an advantage for him.
Yes.
And he had a moment with Cena. So this was very dramatic that everyone was asking if we'd get another CM Punk match before Cena retired, which I don't think we would because I don't see that making any sense. But this is pretty much as close as we're going to get. This was a pretty nice moment. So they brawled too. And then let me see. Saying, get out, this is my thing with Punk. You haven't even been here. Get the hell out of here. Let me handle this, right? That was kind of dramatic. That was a good moment, I felt. Logan Paul, his elimination at the hands of CM Punk, right? So Logan Paul's out. And then the last 3 remaining was Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Cena. Good last 3. Pretty exciting. That's high-profile final 3. Again, Punk and Cena had another moment. They actually hugged each other.
They did.
They hugged each other before they went on a punching spree and started brawling with each other. But okay, let me see. How did this happen? Did Seth took the next elimination after a go-to-sleep and an AA combination. So Seth was out. And then these guys kept fighting for quite a while, Cena and Punk.
Yes.
We didn't realize that Seth was, for some reason, still in the cage.
In the cage.
So when CM Punk fucking dragged himself out of the ring, he just got curb stomped out of nowhere by Seth Rollins. And then Cena, fortuitously, almost like a bad guy.
Almost.
Grabs CM Punk and puts him in a submission hold and takes advantage of it and wins the match. And Seth Rollins, he's like, I did my job. At least CM Punk didn't win.
Right. At least Punk is not going to WrestleMania. Exactly.
Yeah. Gosh. Those guys need to get a life. Seth Rollins needs to get a life. Everyone, when they get obsessed with CM Punk, they can't let it go, But okay, so CM Punk and Seth Rollins are going to do the dance. It looks like they're going to be tied together for next month, I guess.
Yeah,
so.
No doubt. No doubt.
All right, then. So there was some sub-storylines we got. amongst that whole thing of Cena winning the Elimination Chamber. All right, so the match. What did we review this match as? And we have Robert's review too. Details. So this is all on my blog post, but I'm jumping straight to our reviews. Let's see. All right, so I gave it a plus 3 points. I loved it. I thought there was a lot of good high-profile moments with superstars in there, with Punk fighting and Cena fighting. How could you not love that? I thought it was good, man. Logan Paul got eliminated at the right time. Maybe Drew McIntyre is the one thing that I didn't understand them doing that. Maybe that's the one thing I would complain about. Vlad, thumbs up. Robert, 2 thumbs up. So good ratings all around. But let's see. What do you got? You got any comments on the men's chamber match before we move on to the heel turn afterwards and everything? We're going to discuss that also in detail. But go ahead, Vlad. Sorry.
Yeah, not really a lot. I mean, obviously it was a good match. And you said it was star-studded at the very end there. And some cool moments with Cena and Punk, and then the stuff with Seth. I guess the only thing I didn't realize was that Seth was still in the chamber. Like, where did he? I thought he left, dude. I swear, I didn't even realize he was there the whole time they were fighting. The camera work was pretty good, I guess, to make it seem like he was no longer there. So I was like, what the hell? When he did the curb stomp, I was like, where did that come from? But it was a good match. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. I don't think there's much else to say about that.
Okay, all right. Well, let's move on to the post-match, the afterbirth or the aftermath, if you will, which we have already covered and talked about. But I'll just play some images to, sometimes I want to just show the images because it'll come up with, it'll help us come up with conversation. But sure. Lately I don't do summaries like I used to. We just jump straight to the review. But for this one, this was a big enough moment where I guess we'll jump to actually watching slides from this. But okay. So Cena wins, and then Cody comes out, which, all right, that makes sense. He's the WrestleMania opponent. Yes. That's what Cena won, a chance to fight the WWE champion for the title at WrestleMania. So nothing weird yet. Nothing out of the ordinary yet.
No.
Again, Cena, talking to Cody in the ring. They're going to face off at WrestleMania. Look at that. Oh, yeah. It's going to be you and me. And then Travis Scott comes out, which, I don't know. I guess he's just a dirtbag, it seems. Maybe he's just there to draw heat or something like that.
Yeah, it worked.
I guess, yeah. I mean, back in the days, though, you use someone like Dennis Rodman, at least they would take a bump or wrestle sometime,
No, that's true.
I don't know. So there's the thing about wrestling fans saying this guy didn't deserve to be in such an iconic scene. That's exactly
what people are saying. You got that all right. So yeah.
I didn't really read comments, but I would assume that's what people are saying. But
yes.
Okay, so The Rock comes out, and this is what we've all been waiting for. It's the main event. They've even advertised it as the main event to get Cody's answer to The Rock, asking Cody for his soul, right? And The Rock comes out, and he says it was very strange, right? It was like, come to me. Oh, how did he say it? Do you remember the line?
Well, look, I don't want to focus on this part too much because a lot of people are kind of saying, people that are not really wrestling fans but are watching this because they've heard about all of this stuff. They're saying a lot of the stuff that The Rock was saying was kind of gay, or it sounded gay. What is it? Well, what is the invitation that he's actually at? What is he inviting them to be and do? It was all odd. It was very strange. I have to be honest. The way he was wording it and the way he was always feeling up on him and stuff was kind of odd. I have to admit. I mean, I understand where they were going, but he didn't have to say and do it the way he was doing it. What the hell? It was kind of uncomfortable for a lot of people. Don't follow and watch wrestling. I already I've seen a lot of uncomfortable situations in wrestling, so it didn't really bother me one way or the other. But I did feel the way he was wording stuff was really freaking strange. Really odd, So I don't know. I don't know really what to make of that part of it. I mean, maybe I don't know if you have any insight of what you think, why he was wording stuff that was kind of sounding, I
didn't really find it gay. I just thought it was kind of simplistic and childish the way he was saying things. You will come to me. Now I will open my arms, and now you will come to me. and we will be as one or whatever. I don't know what the fuck, you know.
Yeah, but why was he always like filling up on his face and shit? That was weird, man. I don't know. It was kind of
people. I've seen people act that way. That's a certain type of personality. Maybe
I guess
he's a fatherly person or whatever.
Or I guess you could say like he was trying to like big brother him, like type of thing.
Yeah,
okay.
whatever. Okay. Let me move on though. So there came the big moment where Cody finally said, we played it at the beginning of the show. I'm not going to play it again. But,
now that was a moment too. That's kind of got lost in the shuffle. But yes, that was a moment.
No, that was the best moment. To me, that made Cody Rhodes forever. Fuck. He told The Rock, go fuck yourself. And that made up for everything because I was criticizing on my Raw review and on my Smackdown review. Retrospectively, I'll go edit it because I was like, man, this doesn't make sense because Cody should just say no already. And that should be the end of it. But he waited for this moment so he could get on the big stage and tell The Rock to go fuck himself. So that was fucking awesome. It was perfect. It made me smile all day. I woke up thinking about it. It was
hell yeah. Oh yeah. What was great about it is they didn't bleep anything. They let him just say it. And even when they're airing it now on social media, they're not bleeping it, so they really want this to stick, you know? So I like that part of it as well. I mean, it was a big moment, got a huge reaction, because you really don't hear or see that type of stuff really in WWE. I know The Rock cusses all the time, but usually, even when The Rock is cussing, they usually bleep it, right? So this was like, they just said, hey, we're going to have to cuss. You guys are going to have to give us some leeway, because this is a big moment right here. You know? Yeah,
and that was great that they didn't make Raw or WWE R-rated recently, even though they had the ability to, because it's Netflix. Because they shouldn't do that, because then a moment like this wouldn't really land.
No, so, like what if if everybody was cussing all the time, right?
Yes. So perfect, spot on. So Cody, go fuck yourself. And then when the crowd was going absolutely crazy, the camera just focused on Rock, and he's just staring at Cody. And everyone's like, oh, shit. And Cena, too.
Cena too. That's what made it. Oh, my God. Yeah, that's what made it great, too, is Cena's reaction. He was thrilled, right? Like, he's like, oh, shit. Did you hear what he just said?
Oh, shit. And then Cena goes to hug Cody.
Right.
And this is where everything went weird.
Oh, yeah.
Because Cena gives Rock a look, and then The Rock gives him the kill sign, right?
The cut his throat sign or whatever.
The universal kill him.
Yeah.
You know, even if there was no plan, that was obvious. But then came the heel turn, and John Cena low blows Cody, and the whole crowd's going, oh my God, we're actually witnessing this. It's Cena's heel turn, and it's happening. They all give each other a look, and
a lot of people are saying, or it's like the Order 66. You know, he told them, he gave him the Order 66 sign, and boom, Cena just went heel. Right. But anyways, continue.
Yes. So prototypical heel beatdown, made him bleed.
Yes.
Got his title belt.
Yes. All stuff that was really good. Choking him with his tie.
Yes, and then that was it. They just stepped on his head, stepped on his neck, and I think that's how they all walked off together.
Well, I also want to point out one other thing real quick, which what was this? Travis Scott. Yeah, I don't know the guy. I don't know that guy real well, but according to, I saw it later on. Obviously I've watched this multiple times now, because I didn't see it the first time we were watching, because I was too shocked probably. But I guess when they were beating up on Cody, he hit him in the face, and it looked like he hit him for real, because then when Cody got up, he had like a slight shiner on his face or something. Like, dude, guy shouldn't have even been there. That made me even more upset. Like, what? Obviously this guy can't give a working shot. Look at him. Plus he was like smoking weed during the whole thing. He was like, I don't even know what the hell he was doing. Like, he was just, it was ridiculous that he was even there. But I think right here, somewhere right here, he punches Cody. But it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if you get it or don't get it.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I didn't know that about Travis Scott, but okay.
Yeah, he gave him a shot, but I don't think that was planned for sure. It was a surprise to everybody involved, honestly. But anyways, it really ruined the moment for me that he was there. But I don't think it could have been better if he wasn't involved at all. Honestly, if he just wasn't there, I would have liked that a lot better.
Yes. All right. Well, that's that. I don't know. I think we've covered it all. Are you excited now for WrestleMania? Did this fix everything? It fixed the boring build-up to WrestleMania that we've been complaining about?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is a great angle headed to WrestleMania. I mean, there's no way around that. A heel Cena with The Rock by his side. I mean, it's great against the ultimate babyface now currently, who has been Cody for the longest time now. So it's going to be great. I think it's going to be. They have a couple of weeks, well, multiple weeks, right? They have what, like 4 or 5 weeks? No, maybe even more, to really build this thing up. I'm sure Cena will be on most of these Raws on Netflix. Maybe even a couple Smackdowns if need be, to get this thing going, you know? I mean, it's already going.
So. I've heard the opposite, but I'm not sure about that. Don't quote me.
Oh, that he might not be on any of these shows? Well,
yeah, basically.
He should at least be on, well, he definitely needs to be on this next Raw. Like, it's kind of important because they have the momentum right now with this. Everybody's talking about this thing. They have to keep going with it, at least for this week. At least for this week, he needs to be there, I think. He needs to be on the Raw.
He could send in a Twitter post or something.
No, it's not the same. It's not the same. Well, he needs to. I actually think he needs to start the show next.
I don't think he's scheduled for tomorrow's Raw, but maybe he'll surprise me. We'll see.
Well, that would be. I wouldn't. No, see that I don't like. See, I know he's busy, but like he needed to make some time for this. After you just listen to like this, he needed to be there. But okay, all
right. Well, we'll see.
We'll see what happens.
I don't want to. Yeah, don't quote me on that, but that's just kind of what I've been sort of hearing around the echo chamber. But all right, so let's move on to our next topic. We got to move on. We spent enough time on that. Our next topic is Jade Cargill. Okay, so she returned also, and then we'll cover the Women's Elimination Chamber too. All right, so let's start with the Jade storyline. She came back and finally revealed her assailant. It was Naomi. So everyone thought she was going to attack Liv Morgan, I guess. But 2 thumbs up all the way around from all three of us, Robert as well. So let me go through some pictures on this one as well for storyline number 1 before I get some comments from Vlad. So Naomi came in. She thought she was going to actually wrestle, but she didn't as Jade's music hit. And you would think Naomi would have been more nervous, but Liv Morgan was the one who was all nervous, crying about it, like, "Oh my God, please don't kill me," you know. And then Jade attacked Naomi, and the crowd went nuts, and that was the reveal. And then Bianca was in her pod, crying and shit.
Yes.
You know, what are you doing? What are you doing? How could you do this? And then Jade slammed the door on Naomi's face, right? The cage door. That was the cool moment. And then there you go. I guess Jade just leaves, and Naomi didn't get to be in the match.
That just took her out, I think. Yes. There you go.
They took her out on the stretcher. So there you go. All right. Comments on the whole Jade thing going down the way it did.
Well, obviously, we have criticized a lot of this angle, right? The lead up to all of this stuff. But as far as just her coming out looking like $1 million and just beating the shit out of Naomi, I loved it, man. I thought that was great. The crowd reaction to it was like, and the reveal that it was Naomi. I mean, I said it right away. I remember in one of our reviews, like, are they hinting that, are they trying to say that Naomi did this and that's why? And the more and more that they kept saying that it was Liv and Raquel, it was obvious that it wasn't, you know? So I wasn't exactly stunned when she attacked her, but I like how they did it, that it was Liv and Naomi to start the match. And then, oh shit, earthquake. Oh jeez. Did you hear? Did you feel it? Did you feel an earthquake? The wrestling gods are shaking, baby. We're WrestleMania season.
I did feel it, but it was not that big, bro. It was like barely moved. It barely moved us. But
I got moved, man. I got the wrestling. I got the wrestling movement inside me, man. Anyway, forget it. I'm just rambling. It was a slight earthquake, right? But
all right, so the Jade thing coming back, yes, she looked great, looked fantastic, beat the shit out of Naomi and walked out, and that was it. That was the opening angle. So all right, I'm with you. I liked it too.
And I love that. I love that part of it. Yes, for sure.
All right, so the match itself, the Elimination Chamber match, separate for us. Bianca did end up overcoming all that drama at the beginning and she was all stressed out from that, but she did end up winning the match. And our reviews from it, let me see, 3 thumbs up. So 3 regular thumbs up from us. So we all liked it. But I guess I'll go through the eliminations just real quick. And let's see if we get any thoughts, or if we get any thoughts from Vlad, that is, on the Women's Elimination Chamber match. So Roxanne Perez was the first one to get eliminated. Put in a good showing. I thought her work was good. But
I'm sure Robert cried and cried when that happened.
I don't know.
That's probably one of his favorites. I know that.
Yeah, she looked like she belonged, though, I will say. So,
okay.
The second elimination was Alexa Bliss. So she got eliminated by Liv Morgan. Yeah. Two blondes. Was the crowd going holy shit for Liv Morgan and Alexa Bliss? was that
I think so. Well, not to me, but I think it was. That's what they were, because they've always kind of been compared, right? Slightly. No, they're similar build, similar look. So yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yes. So Alexa was all pissed off looking at the elimination. So that could lead somewhere, I guess. I don't know. Seems like that could be another feud. I don't know if they feuded in the past.
I can't recall. If they did, I wasn't watching at the time.
Yeah, it was before I started really following closely. So there is a little bit of a hole in my WWE WWE knowledge from like 2016 to 2019 or something like that. I don't know that if there was a feud in there, but all right, Alexa and Liv. Alexa's out. The next one out was Liv. She got eliminated by Bianca.
Mm-hmm.
Bailey was also in there, but I didn't cover her elimination. But okay, so Bianca wins, and she's going to WrestleMania to face either Io Sky or Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
So, all right. Any comments from Vlad on this booking that Bianca won the match?
I think she was the best of not a lot of great choices. Liv would be an interesting choice, but they've already been there and done that. They already had their feud, so there's really not much else to do. And none of the other ones really made any sense. If you want to have the best match possible, it's got to be Bianca and Rhea. Now, throwing Io Sky, I actually don't really see a point. Like, I don't see any need for it. I know a lot of people like Io Sky as a worker, but, like, look, man, I don't want to... I don't want to sound like I hate foreign wrestlers, but man, she can't speak English, so she can't really carry a feud. She could have a good match, but it's not going to be the same as. I think in this case, 3 would be a crowd. Like if they go triple threat or something for some reason, I think that would be a mistake. It should just be Bianca versus Rhea, and in fact, I think they probably should turn Bianca heel and probably reveal that she either was in cahoots with Naomi about the Jade thing, or that she was, or she played or she played a part in it as well, like she somehow as well. So I would, I'll see how it goes booking wise, but that's what I would do. You should still have a heel versus face. You don't want 2 baby faces having this match. So that's what I would do. But anyways, and I would not have Io Sky involved in the match at all. And that's it. That's how I do that. But it was the only decision for her to win. And it was a good match. It was a good match as well.
All right, yeah, and I think they could turn Bianca too. There's a thing about how she's a role model for little kids, like Cena,
they could turn Cena, man. They could turn anybody at that point.
Well, at this point, I think things have changed a little bit because with these ridiculous, stupid, goofy press conferences after their shows where they completely break kayfabe, and they're like, I enjoyed going out there and being a heel. It's really, I hate that. Yeah, like they're actors. They think they're actors now, and.
Well, the only thing I'm slightly worried about, is I don't know if Bianca could pull off heel, because like her strength is in her wrestling ability. Like she's a great worker. She looks great. She can do so many amazing things because of her strength. But like, I don't know.
You could just do a face versus face match. I mean, what's wrong with that? Sometimes, it's happened before in history.
Oh yeah. Of course, it's happened.
See who's
it's just not It's just not as exciting. It's just not as exciting. But yes, of course they can do it. They definitely.
You telling me Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior wasn't exciting? Come on, it was the biggest draw in history. History.
It wasn't. Well, it wasn't. But it wasn't as big of a draw as Hogan and Andre, where there was a clear face and heel, right? So, I don't know. I mean. Do a face versus face, that's fine. I mean, it'll be a great match no matter what, and I'll be watching it regardless. it could be nicer if they turn somebody heel, and by somebody it has to be Bianca, because Rhea. No, I'll leave it at that. It should be Bianca. And I'll leave it at that.
All right. Moving along. Let's go back to our episode 150 blog post and see what we're supposed to talk about next. My next topic today is going to be KO versus Sami, and then Randy Orton's return. And so, all right, let's cover both of those storylines. I think we're going to break that up into two separate ones on our review post, the Elimination Chamber review post. So this is in the description below if you want to read through our review of this and every match. But okay, so we'll start with the KO and Sami match. So KO beats Sami. So this was an unsanctioned, lights out. WWE absolved themselves of the responsibility, as they put it. But okay, our reviews. Vlad and Robert, thumbs up. So Vlad and Robert liked it. I gave it a half thumbs up. I gave it some credit. I didn't really like it as much as I thought I could.
Sure.
But all right, so you're at a thumbs up. You can start commenting on this, and I'll play some slides over it of some this match.
Well, I'm kind of with you. I was expecting something more grand, I guess, but it was still a very good match for like a hardcore, anything goes type of match. There were tables involved and garbage cans. But the thing is, we've seen so many of these type of matches, and as good as it was, I definitely think Cody versus KO at Royal Rumble I thought that was like a better type of, it was a better match. So, I don't know. Like I said, they did a lot of interesting things, and there was a lot of spots, obviously, like that, and people were going through tables, and they were getting hit with all these weapons and still kicking out. And then, this probably made Tony Khan really happy, because he's like,
that was a cool barbed wire steel chair. I liked how that looked, I will say.
But overall, I didn't love,
this was the finish.
Love the match.
It was a power bomb onto the apron, I guess, because the apron's got no padding. So a couple of these.
I would. That's fine. But you would think that the finisher would have been a package pile driver, just based on everything, or like a package pile driver on like the floor or something. That would have been the finish. I don't know. But overall, it was a good match. But I guess I was expecting a little bit more. I thought they would just completely tear the house down, but they only slightly tore the house down. It was slight.
Yeah, it was kind of a normal match with weapons and such. But
yeah.
Okay, so then KO comes back after the match. He wins the match, gets the pinfall, and then he's going to do an attack, and then that's when our next angle comes in, is Randy Orton's music hits.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
This is great.
So our next angle, storyline number 5 in our review, Randy Orton returns to beat up Kevin Owens. What did we review this as? Let's see. I gave it a thumbs up. Vlad at 2 thumbs up. Robert 2 thumbs up. So you really liked this one. So let me go through what happened on this one real quick, just to get some images for the people who might not have seen it, or if you did, just to get a quick refresher. Or it's just nice to see pictures. I like pictures. But yeah, here comes Randy Orton, and they have a scuffle. KO is obviously all hyped up and pumped up to see him. They fight a little bit, and I think Randy Orton gets the best of him, and he has that moment where he's like, he can do his old punt kick move, right? Where he really puts someone in the hospital. And then for some reason, the officials were literally right there, like ready to go. Like they never are, but for this one, they were ready to save.
And they even tackled him, which they never.
Kevin Owens' life.
They could never tackle anyone. They could never get physically involved, but for some reason in this moment they did. But it's cool. It was. I think they're saving that punt kick for another moment, a rainy day, I guess. But this was a great.
I guess he could get punt kicked at WrestleMania and then go on vacation for a few months. And,
yeah.
That'll be the end of KO. Like someone's got to put this guy out, man. He's too unhinged. Can't have a guy like this hanging around, the wrestling, the backstage, and everything. Got to get him out of here. So. You're liking this then? You're liking the direction? It's going to be a match at WrestleMania?
Yes. It was very good. It was a nice surprise return, like they had with Jade to open the show, and they had this. And obviously how they ended the show is going to be talked about probably for the next 30, 40 years. But no, but this was also really good, you know, and I think it's a proper feud for both of these guys, you know. These are two, you know, I would say big stars at this point, you know. Randy for sure is. Randy, 100%. And I've always, you know, gone back and forth on Kevin Owens, but I would say he is a big star at this point. So it's a pretty good feud for them here, I would say.
All right, cool. So that'll conclude our review of the Elimination Chamber portion of our review. So, all right, let me move along then. NXT and TNA we're not going to review on today's show, but I'll put the links to my full reviews of the NXT show from Tuesday and Impact from Thursday.
Now, can I just ask a quick question? Because I haven't, obviously I don't watch either show, but is it true that the Hardy Boys are wrestled on NXT? Did I have?
Yeah, the Hardy Boys, they did wrestle on NXT. I could pull up my review of NXT right now and show you. I also point out which angles have crossover between NXT and TNA at the very beginning, because there's a lot of that going on now. But let's see, the Hardys won. What did they do? They had a match. They defeated No Quarter Catch Crew, I think, in tag team action.
And that's an NXT team? Or is that a TNA team that they defeated?
No, that's an NXT team, a WWE team. So then Fraxium, the NXT champions, came out and challenged the Hardys to a match. So that's gonna be taking place at the NXT Premium Live event. The Hardys, the TNA champions against the NXT champions.
That's cool.
For the NXT tag team title. Yeah, this TNA and NXT thing is really cool. Oba Femi is also gonna face the X Division champion Moose.
Yeah.
So
we know that.
Oba Femi was on Impact. So if you want to read through Oba Femi's involvement on Impact from this past Thursday, I have my review of that. Me and Robert did NXT together, and I did Impact by myself. So I'll put a link to these in the description. So we don't have time for this today on today's show. Plus, Vlad doesn't watch these shows, so
there's not enough time in the day, guys, to watch all of this wrestling. I'm sorry. For me, there's just not.
That's okay. All right, yeah, there's not enough time for us to review all this shit, man. I mean, shit, I got you only for maybe an hour or two here. We can't review all this stuff, man. But we do also have to talk about AEW, because this show is called The Week in WWE and AEW. So for this week, though, it wasn't a very strong week. So it's one of them 5-minute weeks for AEW. 5 minutes for AEW. That's all they're getting. So I have a clock, a stopwatch. But I have Choose Your Topics, Vlad. So I only have 2 topics on my Choose Your Topics list. So it's the Adam Copeland. This image is Marina and Claudio getting sent to the hospital. And then the other one is MJF, who's still feuding with Hangman Page. So he got his tattoo, his AEW tattoo lasered off. I don't know if you knew that.
Yes, well, I saw it. Yes.
And then he attacked Christopher Daniels, Hangman Page's best friend, apparently. But okay, so let me set up my clock. Let me see. I got 5 minutes on the corner. You see that?
Yeah. No, I see it. Yeah. I see it. Yeah, I see it.
All right, so let me pull up my AEW slides, and I guess you'll get your choice of which topic you want to start with. But hold on one second. Just pulling up my TV here. There it is. There's Edge. All right. So 5 minutes on the clock, Vlad. Let's make it count, because this is all AEW are getting from us for the whole week. So go ahead.
I'm not even sure I'll need 5 minutes for this. I mean, I don't know. I can't think that it's even worth 5 good minutes, as they used to say, or I guess they still do on PTI. No, I can't really think of what I want to say about the Cope and Death Riders thing. I think it was okay.
Well, Cope's been saying that he's going to send
the rest
of the Death Riders to the hospital, right?
Right.
So
I know. And I know Willow helped. What is her name? Maria? Is it Maria?
Marina, yeah.
Marina.
Yeah, so yeah. Marina got nailed by Wheeler Yuta by accident, so that gave them a chance to concerto her, which I think was a cool moment, because it was obvious, okay, she could get concertoed, but Edge is not going to do it. And then Moxley's all nervous, right? You know, he's got his nervous look on his face. But yeah, Willow does come out, and she does the honors of concerto. So that's a pretty hardcore moment. pretty hardcore woman-on-woman violence.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's hard for me to get really motivated for this specific angle because I really think most of the stuff with the Death Riders has been like trash, and really makes me want to not watch AEW when I see it. Or well, you used to be flip the channel, but here you were just I guess you could just turn it off. So I don't know. I mean, it was cool. It wasn't the worst moment, or it wasn't the worst segment, but again, I'm having like the motivation issue as far as getting too excited for anything involving this whole thing.
All right. Oh, then we'll jump to the MJF for that one, because that's a decent feud that's been brewing up between him and Hangman Page. But it started with his getting his laser tattoo removal, because I guess when he returned to AEW, or he chose to sign with AEW instead of WWE, he got AEW tattooed on his leg, but now it's gone. Which I don't know if that was a real tattoo.
Probably wasn't.
Probably wasn't. But it was in the storylines. People mentioned it, that you got that shit tattooed on your leg from time to time. You know what I mean? But now it's gone. So okay, he's free to leave now. But okay. And then Hangman Page, he came out and squashed Aaron Solo, and then he called out MJF. Right, took a seat in the ring like, I'm not leaving until MJF comes out. MJF comes out with a bloody rag and reveals that he has left Christopher Daniels in a pool of his own blood, which Hangman Page has also done himself. But for some reason, Hangman's like, it's okay if I do it, but
not when anybody else does it. I can kill my friends, but no one else can. No, this was all right. Again, I don't think it's as. I mean, it's definitely better than anything to do with the Death Riders, but again, I'm having a hard time with the motivation aspect of just getting too excited for this. Like, the bleeding with Daniels was just so over the top. The stuff that they're saying.
But you were excited for this a few weeks ago. You were saying we should all go to Revolution together. You know, the schedules didn't work out for us, but you know.
That's not the reason. I just thought it was going to be cool to see a wrestling show in LA, even if it's just AEW. I don't think I'm just. I just thought it'd be cool to see one in our city. So yeah, that's the only reason I even thought of it. Not because I think this card's going to be amazing or the show's going to be amazing. I'm so enthralled with MJF and Hangman. No, MJF has had way better feuds than this that I wish I could have gone to and seen with the matches. This is not one of them. It's okay. It's definitely better than anything he's done recently, though. I'll say that much, because he's been working with either older veterans, or he was working with Adam Cole previously. So yes, this is a lot better, but not maybe by much.
All right, so we have 45 seconds left in our week of AEW. Anything else that pops into your head of what you want to talk about, or thoughts on AEW in general? Did I do the right hitting here? Just we couldn't even fill 5 minutes.
Right.
AEW. So it was a week Dynamite, pretty much.
I would say so. I don't really remember a lot of this stuff. I just remember a lot of bad stuff and a lot of backstage segments that I don't care about. With like the women's wrestlers. What's her name?
We could go through some of the storylines real quick that I have listed on our storylines. Well, there was the Will Ospreay, Brian Keith. That was a match that happened.
Good God.
Toni Storm was out, so they just announced that she wasn't going to be there.
I wish I was out, but nonetheless, continue.
Mercedes and Momo Watanabe.
Oh, this is such a horrific segment. Oh, my God.
What else? Hurt Syndicate, I guess they're involved with the Murder Machines and the Outrunners. That's what's going on with them. Swerve.
This one wasn't bad. Yeah, this one wasn't bad.
This is in my honorable mentions later, so we will mention that a little bit later. But other than that, Undisputed Kingdom, nobody cares about.
Nobody.
Harley Cameron got a win over Deonna Purrazzo.
That's cool. I'm starting to like Harley.
And then Takeshita beat Orange Cassidy in the.
Oh my God! Well, it's a show. I mean, it is what it is. It's a show that you have to really, really be a fan of this product and this style of wrestling to really appreciate. I'm just not a big fan of a lot of the stuff. So Yeah, I'll leave it at that. AEW is now so far down on the totem pole of wrestling at this point that, I mean, I guess they still are number 2, but like they're way down.
If they're not careful, TNA could overpass them. Especially with the push TNA is getting from WWE, and
they're getting that boost.
They're actually mentioning what's happening on Impact and everything. Like, people are going to start watching TNA. So, and TNA's booking is coherent. And
AEW is not. Yeah,
it's not. So, all right. Well, we've gone over time on our 5 minutes of AEW. So let's move along. Let's see what else I got coming up next. All right, that's it. So we got retro review stuff. We're done with modern review for the day, so we're going to go through our September 23rd, 1996. So we did Mind Games last week. WWF Mind Games. It was a pay-per-view. And we also have covered WCW. Like, we've done a review of the show that happened exactly on this night.
Yes.
We already have a review of that, so I'll put that in the description. But yeah, on episode 85 of the Malapert Smark Podcast, we reviewed, this was an NWO Hostile Takeover day. So it was one of those days where they didn't want to have anybody have a match. They didn't let any WCW wrestlers have a match, and they booked their own matches. So they booked six. This was Six's debut, so Six had their own match. NWO hijacked the show. So they're on fire. They're hot. It's a hot angle. They're in the swing of it. And WWF are struggling. I think some people would call this show maybe even the low point of WWF.
The specific show? Oh, yes.
Specific show. Well, we're going to get the conclusion of that Razor Ramon / Diesel is coming back storyline that JR has been hooting and hollering at. So, all right. So we did our review of Mind Games last time, and this is the fallout from that. So this is the Monday night, the very next night. So I'm going to go to our blog post, and I'm going to do some watch-alongs today, I think. So we watched this last night, though. Right, Vlad? Me and you?
We did.
Did we try to? Oh, you see, I had watched Elimination Chamber with Vlad, and I had some drinks. We tried to watch this and get prepared for the show. But honestly, I didn't remember much of this. I remember all of Elimination Chamber, though. But all this I had to watch again to prepare for the show today.
That sucks. I can't imagine rewatching this episode again. Okay. But yeah, let's go through it.
Storyline number 1, JR puts himself over amidst the return of Diesel and Razor. So this is the day. Diesel and Razor are coming back. They've been advertising this. They were even at the show the night before. They were at that the Mind Games pay-per-view, and they attacked Savio Vega backstage. So I don't know what the hell people were thinking at that point. I wish I could interview someone who was actually watching this day to day. And could comment on what the hell they were thinking. So to open the show, they did mention, they showed a replay of Nash and Diesel, or two guys who are in their gear, in their costumes, beating up on Savio Vega backstage. And Savio Vega was interviewed, and he was like, I don't know what I saw. I don't know what the hell happened, but...
That's right.
Okay, so... Let's listen to the opening of the show, and I think they're going to announce. This is when JR is going to say, "Hey, these guys are coming today. They're gonna be here." Hold on, let me turn up the audio.
Will go one-on-one with Farouk. What a battle! It's going to be a great matchup. Plus, ladies and gentlemen, Big Daddy Cool Diesel and the bad guy Razor Ramon are in the house. They are here, and we're going to have them right here live tonight on Raw.
All right. So there he is. So JR's big reveal. It's gonna prove that he hasn't been bullshitting this whole time, because everyone has been crying bullshit because Hall and Nash are on WCW. There's no goddamn way. But what's this guy's name?
What's his? They call him Doc Hendricks. What's his real name? It doesn't matter. Let's go with Doc Hendricks.
Doc Hendricks. Yes. So he's in their locker room. There's a locker room that says Razor and Diesel. And he even peeks in and sees like somebody dressed in, but they slam the door in his face. But, all right, I'm going to cut to the end of the show. So this was the final segment. So JR is going to cut a promo to close the show. So I listened to this last night, but I don't remember it. So I want to listen to it again because I just remember it being like fucking crazy. But let's listen to JR's promo here. And he's going to introduce Razor Ramon and Diesel back to WWF at the end of this. So here we go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, before I was so rudely interrupted with a commercial break, we're going to conduct this interview right now. And in just a couple of moments, I'm going to bring Big Daddy Cool Diesel and Razor Ramon right out here. But before I do, I'd like to just beg your indulgence for just a minute or so and tell you something that I've got on my mind. It's something I've been waiting to say for a long, long time. And when I'm through telling you, many of you are going to question my loyalty to the World Wrestling Federation. So let's clear that up right now.
What are you talking about? I have no idea.
I have no loyalty to the World Wrestling Federation. I've only got loyalty to good old JR. Let me tell you why. In 1993, I left a great job in Atlanta, Georgia. And I left the Atlanta Falcons of the National Football League to go to the recognized leader of sports entertainment, the WWF. And I came here to be the primary play-by-play man in the WWF. I don't think anybody here is going to disagree that I'm the best play-by-play man in the whole damn business.
Yeah.
Putting himself over. JR putting himself over.
Well, that part's true. I do agree. He is the best play-by-play guy probably of all time. Well, definitely of my lifetime. I mean, there could have been some guys that I'd never heard or saw, but definitely of my lifetime, it's not even close.
I really don't know. This is
So I show up for work the first day at WrestleMania 9 in Las Vegas, Nevada, and they give me a sheet to wear. They said, oh, it's going to be a toga. You'll look good in the toga, JR. I leave the National Football League for a toga. It's crap.
He's mad at that, about having to wear the toga at Caesar's Palace, huh? Okay, so he held that in his heart for quite a long time. Okay, interesting. Let's carry on.
He has more.
Ladies and gentlemen, I go to the first King of the Ring in Dayton, Ohio. And I guarantee you, you listen to that broadcast. I carried the broadcast from ringside. And then did you ever wonder where old JR went to? Why isn't JR doing play-by-play anymore? Let me tell you why. Because the egotistical owner of the World Wrestling Federation, and you know what I'm talking about, I'm talking about Vince McMahon, couldn't stand the competition.
Why is he doing this? This is rather unfortunate.
So JR disappeared. And then on Super Bowl Sunday in 1994, I woke up with an affliction called Bell's palsy. And my entire left side of my face looked like I had a stroke. You think I like that? You think I like that my left eye doesn't open all the way because I got sick? Let me tell you how warm-hearted Mr. McMahon is. Mr. McMahon called me into his office on February the 11th, 1994, and he fired my ass.
God, well, all right, that one I'll accept as a valid complaint. Like the toga thing.
Absolutely.
Okay, what is going on here? He's running down the WWF. He's trying. That's the idea here.
Well, it's a very strange thing because what did they think? What did they think this was? I mean, obviously this is a work shoot, and I think.
How does this benefit the WWF, though?
I couldn't come up with. That's what I'm saying. I think that's the criticism. Like, yeah, this was a great promo for JR. Like, just to get all the shit that he probably did feel off his chest live on TV, but it's on their. It's like something AEW too. Like, how is this going to help business? How is this going to help anything? Especially when you're about to reveal that it's who actually Razor Ramon is and who. Well, I guess they didn't reveal Diesel in this episode, but same thing. You know, it doesn't really matter at that point. But anyways, continue.
So I get back in my car, and and I'm driving to my home in that overpriced hellhole, Connecticut, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to tell my wife and my 2 little girls that their daddy had just got fired. And so then, remember when McMahon got indicted? Then you just come back and do Raw.
In fact, can't believe they let him say this on TV.
So finally,
I mean, maybe they thought this whole work shoot was just gonna be interesting to people. They needed anything to get ratings. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Here's JR going off on Vince and everybody. Like, that's got to turn heads. Just got to turn some people over. You turn the channel and JR is going crazy in the middle of the ring. But okay, we only got a couple minutes left in this. Let's let it run out.
Yeah, let's let it run.
Hired me back for 50 cents on the dollar to come back and work in the front office. Do you think that all these guys leaving the WWF was an accident? Hell no, it's not. You think all these guys coming here was an accident? Absolutely not. I've been very busy. And right now, I want to bring back one of your favorites.
He said you guys think people leaving this company for other companies is an accident. No, I made that happen. I'm the one that's been telling people to leave because this company sucks.
Oh, I see. So he was implying that he's the reason that Hall and Nash left in the first place. Is that what he was trying to imply?
Yes, and he's also in charge of bringing people back in. So now he's saying, well, I'm bringing this person in now. Okay. I don't know. This is all over the place. Yeah, this is...
Razor Ramon!
All right, so this is the introduction of Razor. So the people cheer. They pop first.
They probably thought there's a chance that it could be
There's
Scott
the
Hall.
music. They play the music, Razor's old music.
Which was a great theme.
And then the crowd goes silent. The first second they cheered, and then this guy comes in. It looks like this guy looks like I don't know what he looks like. I was gonna say he looks like our friend Red.
But he doesn't look like anything like Scott Hall.
Yeah,
he's closer to Ren than he is to Scott Hall.
Oh my goodness! So here comes the guy. Here comes the new Razor Ramon. I mean,
oh Lord.
I mean, I've heard some circles say that they thought the idea was that they could just replace certain people. Like, eventually they would have like an Undertaker replacement.
Right.
You know what I mean? They could just bring someone to play the Undertaker. Like, wouldn't that be great? You wouldn't have to pay Mark Calloway anymore. We could just you think you deserve this much money? We'll just bring anyone to play the Undertaker. Like, if this worked, if this angle worked,
right.
And people sort of accepted Razor and Diesel, I think he could have maybe thought about doing that with other wrestlers and other characters. You know what I mean? But
well, then I guess we should all be thankful that this failed miserably.
I mean, all right, let me play out the rest of it and see if anything happens.
That's not mirrors. How do you like?
You know, the commentators are certainly not putting it over because Kevin Kelly's like, that's not the original Razor. That's not him. What's going on here?
WWF, how do you like Razor Ramon? How do you like that, McMahon? Like he's a little bigger than the last time I saw him.
What is JR trying to do? Is he trying to embarrass the World Wrestling Federation?
Is he trying to embarrass the World Wrestling Federation? So they're not putting him over, definitely. They're not putting this guy over, whoever it is.
Razor, how's it feel to be back in the WWF?
Oh yeah, man. Chico, take a look at the bad guy, man.
Wait a second, Sami Omega in the ring. Wow!
All right, so then Sami Omega hits the ring, and they brawl, and the show goes off the air. That was it. Oh my goodness! All right, so then they were gonna reveal this fake Razor and fake Diesel, and they didn't even get a chance to reveal the whole Diesel, the fake Diesel. to reveal the fake bullshit storyline.
Then we have to reveal the fake Diesel in the next week, which is, oh god, yeah, you're right. It's terrible. It's terrible.
All right. So there's our first storyline from this day. Let's see what ratings we gave on this. I think Robert didn't watch the show. He's probably sick. He might have watched it, but we don't have a rating from him today. Vlad's at a 0, and I'm at a thumbs down. Vlad actually said the JR promo he liked, so you're giving that a thumbs up.
Yeah.
And then the Razor reveal, though, was a thumbs down, so you leveled it out to a 0.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Interesting. Okay, so we've covered this whole thing. I'm going to make this a playlist, Vlad, of all our coverage of this whole storyline. But do you have any comments on this? I know this is the end. We knew this is where it would come to, but this isn't the end though, because these guys are actually going to wrestle and be on the show, right? So
yes, for at least for a little while, yes.
All right, so let's hear some comments from you about how this whole thing finally went down.
I mean, I don't think there's really much to say. I mean, I thought the JR promo itself was obviously pretty good, despite what we just said about how it made no sense and why they would let him say all this stuff and yeah. But I guess to the bigger point of the reveal of the fake Razor, I mean, if Vince really thought they could just put anybody in these characters that he quote unquote created, he was just being stupid. He was just being stupid, man. That's really what it comes down to. Because it's not just like, this is not like somebody playing Disneyland characters at, they're in a, you can't see their face or anything like that. These are actually people that people saw year in, year out. So they weren't going to enjoy this no matter what happened. There was no way this was going to end up working out any shape or form that they presented it as far as I could see. So, yeah, I mean, this is one of the most failed wrestling ideas that Vince had, probably.
Yeah. Well, man, there's something about the seed of that idea that I kind of like. The idea of continuing on a character like forever, but not in this case. Like in this case, obviously, the Razor and Diesel have gone to WCW, and this is just ridiculous. You don't want to be talking about them when they're on the other show and all that. So there's a lot of things that's wrong with this. But potentially for certain things, I could see a character working where they change the quote-unquote actor or wrestler, especially if someone's wearing a mask, maybe.
And I'm sure that's happened maybe in Mexico or wherever, where like they just that you could be like the next whatever Sin Cara or whatever. I don't know.
But okay, I mean, I think if they really wanted to, they could have pushed the issue. They could have had the commentators put it over, and they could have tried to work with these characters and continue on. But since they made it a joke for these especially...
Oh, you mean they should have said, like, oh, that is Razor. They should have just bought into it? Like, should they have said, like...
Yeah, they shouldn't be saying, oh, JR is trying to make a mockery of WWF, and what is he doing here? He's trying to, fuck us over. Like, stop saying all that. I think potentially if they treated it seriously, it could have been... They could have let these characters continue on the show, and they would have just been Razor and Diesel, But
I have a hard time seeing this. No, I just don't think it would have worked either way.
Do you know how long these two actually remain on the show as Razor and Diesel?
I can't tell you exactly, man. No, I don't remember. It wasn't very long. I'm gonna say a couple months, maybe. I think. What are we in September? This is September. I want to say probably. I want to say they're there at least till the end of this year, but maybe even beginning of '97. So, but how long it goes after that, I don't know.
Interesting. All right, well, let me move on from this then. So I got a couple more watch-alongs I want to do before we call it a night. So I'm going to do the Stone Cold stuff. So Stone Cold was on this show. Let me jump around. I'm jumping around to storyline number, I think it's 6 right here. No. 7. Sorry about this, everybody. All right, storyline number 9. So 9. Stone Cold is still on Bret Hart's case. So he's been trying to egg Bret Hart on. Bret Hart hasn't been there. Bret Hart was a no-show at Mind Games. He didn't show up. That's a long story, but Stone Cold cut a promo in his absence. And here he is again. He's joining commentary here for the Triple H versus the Stalker match. And we can play just a little bit, just a little taste of Stone Cold for the day. And listen to what he was talking about Bret Hart at the beginning, before the match starts.
Joining us right now is Stone Cold Steve Austin. Mr. Austin, you created quite a stir last night in your house.
Shut up!
We want to talk a little bit about Bret the Hitman Hart. You know, Hitman used to go around the WWF. He claimed to be a great artist. Then I came along. Take a look at this artwork right here. My artwork on the cover of the comedy magazine that's out today. He knew he wasn't the greatest artist of all time. He used to claim to be the greatest wrestler. Then Steve Austin came along, and now he's hit the high tail.
I got something I'd like to make clear right now. Because of the censors, I can't use the word I'd like to use, but I'll use a word that rhymes with it. I spit on the life, the career, and the family of Bret the Hitman Hart. Whoa!
God damn. He shits on the career, life, and family of Bret Hart. Man, he's really trying to egg him on now at this point. If Bret comes back and doesn't respond to this guy, then he's a wuss.
And if his parents would have been smart enough to practice safe sex some 30 years ago, I wouldn't be dealing with him right now.
Well, Hunter Hearst tells me...
If his parents practiced safe sex, then he wouldn't have to deal with him right now. Okay, so this was a dud match. Mr. Perfect against the Stalker, but Stone Cold did have a good line during the match that I caught. He said, "Why is Barry Windham have that ridiculous paint on his face? We all know who that is."
Yes. Well, that's what everybody was saying. I'm sure. Like everybody was saying. Every wrestling fan was like, "Oh yeah, that's just one of the big stars in the NWA for what." For the longest time, right, through most of the 80s. I mean, and they put him in this ridiculous gimmick. God, it was all over the place bad.
Barry Windham. All right. So this was another one of them matches. I'm not going to cover this storyline, but this was another one of them things where Mr. Perfect came and stole Triple H's girlfriend away again. But
yes. I
don't know where that goes. I don't think it goes anywhere because Mr. Perfect probably going to get stolen away from WCW sometime soon by WCW. So, all right, but let me go on to my next watch-along. So, The Undertaker and Mankind. So, they had a fight the night before as, what's his name? Shawn Michaels defended the title against Mankind, and Undertaker came at the very end. So, hold on, let me find this right here. And then, to open the show today, they announced a Buried Alive match. So, they didn't really even set it up or anything. They just came on and they're like, there's going to be a Buried Alive match. You know what I mean? So let's play. I guess they start with a replay of what happened the night before in the post match of the Mankind and Shawn Michaels thing.
The Undertaker materialized from inside the casket. The Undertaker attacked his betrayers and they fled. Mankind and Paul Bearer will have nowhere to run, though, on October 20th, because in the first ever non-sanctioned WWF pay-per-view match, the loser will be buried alive. Wow.
The wound.
All right, so there's a feud that got put on hold because Mankind, or Paul Bearer turned on the Undertaker and went with Mankind, but then they put it on hold as Mankind went to fight for the title. And then he didn't win against Shawn Michaels, and now they're going to have a Buried Alive match. So they're just what do you think of how they announced that, Vlad? They're just going to have a Buried Alive match. They could have set that up a little better, right? Like, they could have challenged, like, Buried Alive.
That's true.
Instead, it was just Kevin Kelly going,
to start the show, right? Yeah. Or I don't know if it was even to start the show. They had the sign up there, right, from the very beginning, right? It said Buried Alive. Yeah, you're right. They should have probably done it a different way than they presented it, but a lot of things should have been done differently around this time in WWF.
All right, so let's listen to the Undertaker's promo. He's in a cemetery for anybody just listening, audio only.
At SummerSlam, have just begun to heal, but there's one scar that I shall carry for all of eternity. The scar of betrayal. Paul Bearer.
So he's still hurt by Paul Bearer betraying him.
Oh yeah, I can understand that. I can understand that.
All right, here's an emotional Undertaker here.
Mankind. Last night, you witnessed who truly is the master of the mind game. And mankind, I have condemned you to eternal damnation. Mankind, I am going to bury you alive, and you will never rest in peace.
Nice. Well, that was great. I like that a lot. I might change my ratings on this, but okay, that was really good. The Undertaker's part was really good. All right. Before we get comments, I'll play Mankind and Paul Bearer's response.
It was the Undertaker! It was all the Undertaker's fault! He was the reason that you lost the WWF Championship last night!
What? The Undertaker wasn't even involved until after the decision was the match was over.
That's true. That made no sense. But yeah.
She joined in our casket, the casket that belonged to us. But you know, we still have the power of his mind. Events of last night were squirming like maggots around my diseased mind because I can't figure out how did he get there. He wasn't there. But you see, Undertaker, you will come to view last night as your gravest mistake because you took something that was really destiny and made it personal. I can see it. This is the spot. This is why the Undertaker wants to bury you alive. Oh, yes it is. Yes it is. You see, Undertaker, you took something that was mine. And now I've got no choice but to take something that's yours. Your last breath. And I will make it mine. Mine. Oh, mine. Have a nice day.
Can we do this interview?
All right. Then we go back to JR. But okay. So let's see some ratings for this Undertaker and Mankind promo battle, basically. I mean, I think it was good. Kind of came out of nowhere. Thumbs up from both of us, by the way. But when you look at the whole show, what it is, and then suddenly this supernatural shit comes out where they're in a cemetery and they're going to bury each other alive. It just kind of comes out of nowhere to me. Maybe that's why I didn't give it a higher rating than a thumbs up. What about you? Any comments from you?
Well, no, it probably didn't deserve a better rating. But compared to the rest of the show with Barry Windham as the stalker, the body Donnas, Farouk with some, I don't even know, a toilet seat on as his costume. I mean, all this nonsense. Like this is actually better than anything else they had going at that time, believe it or not. So, yeah, it's the supernatural, but geez Louise, everybody's gimmick was a disaster. Outside of maybe like a few select people that basically never really changed the gimmick or didn't have to. But yeah, this was good. It was a good promo. It was creepy. It fits what the feud that has been happening since I guess Mankind joined the WWF. So really good creepy feud.
All right. Next topic, we're going to get our daily dose of Jim Cornette. So we only got a couple little short watch-alongs left. So, Cornette, Corny, your boy.
Good old Cornette.
Your boy. Yeah, well, we got a short promo here today. I guess Clarence Mason stole his boys the night before on Mind Games.
That's right.
So, Clarence Mason is commentating during this Owen Hart and British Bulldog match as they face the Body Donnas. So let me pull up I think I got some images on this. There's Clarence Mason on commentary. And then Cornette's going to come in via remote. So let's listen to Jim Cornette talking. He's going to comment not only on Clarence Mason, but on Jose Lothario. So I will get your comments on that Jose Lothario feud continuing on as well. But this is going to be two separate storylines. So let's just listen to it, and we'll talk about both of them afterwards.
What do you mean problems with the smoking guns last night?
Right now, standing by is the man, Mr. Mason, I think you owe an apology to. That's Jim Cornette.
You better believe you owe me a stinking apology, you little peanut-headed shyster. I signed a piece of paper for you to represent me to sue Jose Lothario for assault and battery, and you hornswoggled me out of a tag team. I'm going to tell you something. You're a crook, and I'm going to get you disbarred, disarmed, dismembered, and any other kind of diss I can. And I'm going to get my own revenge on Jose, because next week, right here on Raw, me and Vader are taking on Shawn Michaels and Jose Lothario in a tag team match. And I'm going to get even with Jose, and Vader's going to get Shawn, and then Clarence Mason. I'm calling some kind of journal. I'm calling some kind of bar association. I'm calling anybody I can to get even with you. You no good, dirty,
All right.
Thank you much.
That big tag team matchup.
There you go. Jim Cornette promo on the day. All right, so he addressed a couple of things. The Clarence Mason thing and the Jose Lothario thing. So let's start with the Clarence Mason thing. All right, so this whole thing, I think we gave ratings to. I gave it a half thumbs up. I think Cornette was funny.
He was.
He addressed the situation with Clarence Mason, and the match was kind of a secondary thing. The match between the Body Donnas and Owen and the British Bulldog was very in the background, you know. But Vlad didn't give this anything, so Vlad not excited about Cornette trying to get back at Clarence Mason at all, huh? Okay, interesting.
No, not really.
And then the other storyline I'm going to jump to is number 7 on our review of this episode of Raw is Cornette wanting revenge on Jose Lothario. So he made mention that somehow he's gotten a tag team match, and he's going to continue on the feud. Him and Vader against Jose Lothario and Shawn Michaels. And he lost that match. He lost it horribly. So, you know, that feud, he wants that feud to continue, but he kind of looks ridiculous. But okay, I gave it a half thumbs up still, just because it's funny. But Vlad, again, 0, indifferent, nothing here. So, all right, Cornette struggling here with you to get some positive ratings.
No, I mean, look, he kind of could promo, but during this thing, but come on, dude. I mean, him and Clarence Mason, him and Jose Lothario, I mean, those are not going to be exciting feuds. Plus, they already had the match.
You don't think that's going to get them ratings going up against WCW?
No, not really. As much as I love Cornette, and he was good here too, but no.
Kind of funny because we will talk about Sunny in a little bit as we talk about how she's valeting for Farouk in that Intercontinental title match. But Sunny, like the roles are reversed. Back then, she was like the wildly popular person on the internet and way more famous person. And now in 2025, Cornette is now the completely super popular person on the internet, 500,000 YouTube subscribers, wildly successful podcast, and Sunny is like nothing. So, but yeah, at this time, Cornette was not very hot, I guess, in terms of the wrestling business.
Well, I mean, yeah, I would say he had a great wrestling mind still, but his heyday has always been in the 80s. Let's just be honest. He was more part of like creative and stuff like that. But I guess he had a decent beginning to his WWF run when he was the manager of Yokozuna. But they didn't really give him a lot to work with after that. is the problem.
Yeah, he's just a loudmouth who kind of, brags and very braggadocious, but in the end, he doesn't really win, so he has no credibility. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he's still a great heel manager, but yeah, no, the stuff that he was doing is probably the worst stuff of his career, most likely. The stuff that he was doing for the WWF years is probably the worst stuff of his career.
All right, well, last little watch-along, really short one, last thing we'll play before we call it a night is the Jeff Jarrett stuff. So this was I was very surprised to see this, but I did look up when Jeff Jarrett, because we reviewed the Jeff Jarrett debut in WCW, because he's leaving here, and that's why they're going to take little jabs at him on his way out. But he hasn't debuted yet, so he's left.
He has not.
But he's not debuted, but he's going to debut soon on Nitro. So,
Gotcha.
My title here for this storyline, I'm calling it, is Jeff Jarrett a fraud? Because Vince McMahon has a video package where he reveals that Jeff Jarrett never actually sung any of the songs that he pretends to sing. So I'm gonna play this, and you guys can zoom in if you want to watch it. But really, we're just gonna listen to what Vince is saying.
Not only was he going to battle Shawn Michaels, the self-proclaimed greatest entertainer in the world was going to perform his hit song "With My Baby Tonight" live on stage in front of all of his naysayers. But tonight, on Monday Night Raw, the man Double J, Jeff Jarrett, exposed. As we are going to show you in a moment, ladies and gentlemen, via videotape, Double J, Jeff Jarrett was simply country music's version of Milli Vanilli. Check it out.
So they're showing Jeff Jarrett singing a song, but Vince McMahon is saying he's Milli Vanilli. He's a lip syncer. He's not a real singer.
Right.
This is the stab he's taking at Jeff Jarrett as he leaves. But I mean, did anyone actually think Jeff Jarrett is a country music singer? Like, did anyone actually think this? But okay.
Just wasn't a poor lip sync. Indeed, Double J, Jeff Jarrett never sang the song. He never even recorded it, ladies and gentlemen. Double J, Jeff Jarrett was about to be exposed, and that very night he walked out on the World Wrestling Federation. However, next week, the man who really sang the song "With My Baby Tonight," that's right here next week, ladies and gentlemen, on Monday Night Raw, the man who was ripped off by Double J is going to join us. That's right, the man who really sang "With My Baby Tonight," the real Double J, right here next week.
The real Double J. All right, so you made comment, Vlad, in our review post that this is very petty shit from Vince McMahon here, huh?
Yeah, this is more classic Vince being just ridiculous. Dude, just get over it. He left. He was going to WCW. You don't have to be like such an asshole. But I think he's always had an issue with Jeff. You know, and that goes back, I guess, maybe to Jeff. Maybe because of they had like the territory in Memphis, or I don't know. There was some stuff, but I don't really know where
has beef with his parents or with his father. As a
maybe
you're saying.
Yeah, maybe.
I think Jeff Jarrett always was very full of himself. Like, you know, he won't take a backseat to anyone. He's like, my family's just as much a part of this business as your family is. So it was probably hard to deal with. But yeah, this regardless, even as a stab at someone to try it's not even good, yeah.
Because it was really showing how stupid the stuff they were doing in '95 was with Jeff Jarrett singing. Like, what the hell? What was even going on at that time? I mean, I kind of vaguely remember this, but as far as him singing, but man, this was bad. Yeah, this was bad. So,
all right, so you gave it a thumbs down. I'm at -3 points. I gave it a pissed off, angry face because I'm a big Jeff Jarrett fan. And how dare you run down Jeff Jarrett? He's the man, bro. He started TNA.
That's right.
But I do respect Jeff Jarrett, so as a wrestling figure very much. So yes, I think this is a weird segment. This was a very weird one to me. But okay, I think that's all we got for watch-alongs. Other than that, I'll just mention some of the other things that happened on this show, just for completeness' sake. Let's see what else we got. We got the Mark Miro thing. I do want to mention that. So Mark Miro was the finalist in his Intercontinental title tournament with Farouk. Him and Farouk and Sable was his valet. So on the face of it, this kind of seems like a weird thing to, you know, be a final of an Intercontinental tournament with all the people who were in the tournament. But it does make sense though when you look at the valets. It's Farouk and Mark Miro, but the valets are Sable and Sonny. So they're there, you know, kind of. So it's a superstar valet showdown, really. But Sonny got kicked out by Pat Patterson, who was the referee for this match, the first ever Intercontinental champion. But, oh, by the way, sorry about that. I didn't have the TV on bigger. But yeah, here's the image of Sable and Sunny on the outside. So this is before Sunny got kicked out of the match. And then Sunny got kicked out and ended up coming back. So here she is getting kicked out. And here she is coming on the way back. And then she has a face-off with Sable. Can you believe this? Sunny and Sable. And they have like a little cat fight. So here's Sable pulling Sunny off the apron. And then here's them slapping at each other. Good shit. But anyways, Mark Miro wins. And I think this is the start of a little push for Mark Miro because he's going to be the Intercontinental Champion, and he's got Sable at his side, who everybody loves and thinks is amazing. But okay. I think I was never really a Mark Miro fan. So I don't know if this is where I'd be going with this storyline either, in terms of their feud with WCW and trying to get ratings. Is Mark Miro the guy they want to be pushing, Vlad? I don't know. I don't think this worked out for them. But
no, I mean, I think, yes, of course, they liked that he came in with his attractive wife, Sable. But no, I think they thought he was a good worker in WCW, which he was, and they tried to give him a pretty decent push here, and even put the IC title on him. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. The whole, he had the whole Little Richard gimmick. Like, he looked like Little Richard, and he was the wild man. It just really wasn't an interesting gimmick. It wasn't an interesting character. That's probably what failed him in the future, or what's going to fail him in the future. But yeah, I mean, a worker, he was all right. He was okay. He had some good matches. I know guys wanted to work with him, but the gimmick, and then later on with the stuff with Sable.
Sad end to his career. This is like the high point. He's like getting ready to get pushed, and then in the end, Sable's going to become the bigger star than him, and he's going to get pushed out. Sable's going to become the superstar. So pretty funky ending. But okay, let me move on to, a couple things. Well, we mentioned the Mr. Perfect thing and Triple H thing. That one we glossed over, so I don't really want to cover that too deeply. But the last thing is the ECW guys. So the ECW guys, they showed up the night before at Mind Games, and on this one they did show up as well during the Body Donna's Owen Hart British Bulldog match. So again, you see there was a lot of stuff going on during that match that made it not a very exciting match. Important match. Yeah, there was just other things. So ECW guys, again, I think Taz was there.
Oh, is that who it was?
Yeah, so they kind of slight distraction. They didn't really focus in on them. And then JR had a good moment where he said, "These guys wrestling a bingo hall."
Yes.
They're wrestling a bingo hall. So, okay.
That's probably what he thought of this wrestling. I'm sure.
All right. So there you go. That's our review of WWF Raw from September 23rd, 1996. I think, again, another loss to WCW.
Oh, yeah.
So this is probably one of the lower points of WWF. Some people were thinking WWF could go under it, could go out of business at this point. So especially with how bad they were going. But all right, that's it. Unless you have any final thoughts, I'm going to go to my honorable mentions for the night for this week.
No, let's go to your final or honorable mentions. Excuse me.
All right. I got a couple. Let's see what we got. I got Gunther. So this is from Raw. We didn't really mention Raw, but the review, our full review, is in the description. So we did cover all the storylines and all the angles. Me, Vlad, and Robert did. So I'll put a link to that in the description. But Gunther had a great segment with Tozawa, where he challenged Tozawa to a match, which was pretty fucking hilarious to me. So that was well done. Do you have any thoughts about that or no?
Yeah, I mean, it was funny, but I don't really remember. Well, plus, it was Monday. Hard to remember everything at this point. So much wrestling. Yeah.
Well, he saw them like doing a TikTok video on the back.
Oh, it was a TikTok video. Okay.
That's why he thought they were being silly when he was walking around backstage. So then he came out and he challenged Tozawa. He's like, "Prove I should respect you, right?" Which is kind of cool. I thought that was a cool thing. It's like, well, earn my respect now. So I thought that was good.
And what happened at the end? Jey Uso came out at the end? Is that what
Jey Uso came out, yeah, because I think he beat Cesaro, and then he was going to beat him up some more, and Jey Uso came out. So
okay, yeah. It was all right. It was a good segment. It was a good thing.
Yes. For our full review of that, please go to our Raw Review Post. As far as SmackDown, also we didn't mention anything from SmackDown, so I will mention Jacob and Solo on SmackDown. Our full review of their SmackDown is our full SmackDown review. Is in the description below. Also, so if you guys want to go through that and see what we thought of everything that happened, a lot of Elimination Chamber stuff. But this one didn't have to do with Elimination Chamber, so this was a separate storyline. But Jacob and Solo had a good day, actually, where nothing bad happened.
Well, they right, but they didn't, right? Didn't they? They had the match, but Jacob didn't win the title. Like, he didn't get to.
Yeah, he had a triple threat match with who was in that match? Was it LA Knight?
LA Knight and Carmelo, right?
Yeah, for the United States number one contender.
Yeah.
And then he just didn't win. He didn't get pinned, but he didn't win. So that was a little strange to me. But other than that, Solo and him worked well. So I'm hoping they can still avoid having a match. But for this week, there was nothing.
I'm the opposite. I want them to have a match. I think they'd rather have a match than not have a match. But okay.
All right, my last honorable mention we did already mention was Nana and Swerve. If Swerve can't get the job done against Ricochet, Nana's going to retire because he can't live without that robe. So
can I ask you a quick question on that? Maybe I missed it, but I don't know enough about Nana's history. What is this like? What is the robe? Is like his family robe? Did he explain that? And I missed it. Maybe he just said it was very special to him, but I don't. And like it has huge meaning. I don't know if he actually clarified what the meaning was. I don't know if you know anything about it, but
bro, I don't, and I don't really care. To me, this is like a fucking Andrade's mask situation.
Oh, I see.
I don't care about Prince Nana's robe.
Do you see any chance of Nana turning on Swerve? Is that you think that's where it could be leading?
Yeah, that's a good thought. I actually never thought about that. Really, I mean, I feel like Ricochet could use Nana to speak for him a little bit.
But I think
Swerve doesn't really need Nana.
Yeah, he doesn't need Nana, but I agree with that. And as long as Nana's a heel manager, I think he could work with. I mean, obviously he would be a heel manager in that case. But what I'm saying is he probably would work better as a heel manager.
All right, then. I think we should wrap up the show there. That's good enough. Sorry, Robert couldn't be here, the Frozen Asian, but he did fill in the review sheets, so we got to mention him a lot.
He's not here. Why have I been looking at him the whole hour and a half?
He's just been silent. He's been completely frozen. But okay, on that note, let's wrap up the show. Okada's still the Continental Champion.
Oh, don't say it. Don't say it. It's
hey, I gotta just update the people on who the Continental Champion is. Yeah. It's a running thing on this show. But other than that, please subscribe. All the latest reviews go to our posts tab on YouTube. And then also our latest videos are on there as well. And we got retro reviews. So I'll post a link to if anybody wants to see the WCW reviews we've done at the same time period that we're reviewing the WWF. I'll post that in the description as well. All right, Vlad, thank you very much for being here. Thank you for watching Elimination Chamber with me. I know you're tired today, but it was fun. And the people got to see. I mean, we are a legit podcast now, man. The people wait for our reviews. We have lots of subscribers. Look,
I love it.
We post a video, and people are going to watch it now. You know what
I love it. I love to hear it. That's great.
Yeah, man. All right, well, that's cool. Good show. Good show today. Your 150th episode. So congratulations on that. Congratulations. All right, well, go to bed, man. I'll talk to you later, and hopefully we'll have another episode for you guys next week.
Turn on the lights, feel the beat. Press and tails can be beat. Join the crew, take your seat. Welcome to the wrestle heat. Malapert Smark, time to fly. Stories don't catch your eye. Talking champs till we die. The smarks always high. Fights and myths, so we say. Heroes rise to sway. In the ring night and day. Wrestling talk, come and stay. Malapert Smark, time to fly. Stories don't catch your eye. Talking champs till we die. With the Smarks always high. Crash and cheer, all the news you wanna hear. Wealth and fame always near. With the crew, have no fear. Malapert Smark, time to fly. Stories don't catch your eye. Talking champs till we die. With the Smarks always high. Don't catch your eye. Talking champs till we die. With the Smarks always high.